Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another breakdown video. And today I'm going to be talking about Stone Cold podcast with Brock Lesnar. So I watched this last night. I know it's been out a while. I think it's almost like a year old that I haven't yet to watch it. I've never seen it before. And there's a few others I'm going to check out. I just got done recording the AJ Styles podcast. What I thought about that. Definitely check that one out. But Brock Lesnar podcast, this was pretty cool. This was really awesome. I didn't think it was going to be this good. I couldn't remember what people said about it, so I kind of went into it blindly, not knowing how it was going to be. I thought it was going to be boring, kind of. But this was a really, really good podcast. That he talked about a lot of things. We learned a lot from Brock Lesnar and what he likes and dislikes, and just a lot about the person. You know, mainly the just thing about it is that he doesn't like pro wrestling for pro wrestling. He doesn't like the pro wrestling business as a passion. It's not a passion of his. He's here to make money, and that's basically what he does. But he goes out there and he gives 120% every time he goes out there because that's what he does. He's a farm boy. That's how he grew up. He worked on the farm, and he knows how to work hard, and he does it constantly at whatever he does. And I can respect that. The one thing that kind of I think that takes away is that he doesn't want to talk to other wrestlers, and things like that, and he doesn't want to mingle with other superstars for the most part because he's just not a people person. That was kind of a weird thing that he said in the podcast, and I remember people talking about that when the interview actually happened, was that he's not a people person. He doesn't like to be around crowds. He really doesn't like to interact with, he didn't say it, but in all actuality, he probably just doesn't like to interact with fans too much, which is kind of if you're a wrestling person, it's kind of weird. But I'm sure he probably still does. Like, I bet he's at like the WrestleMania shows and stuff like that. He may sign autographs there and stuff. Because I think at WrestleMania weekend they usually have like sessions where you meet the superstars and you pay like so much, and you get to meet like 5 or 6 superstars. And he's probably in something like that. But probably besides that, I bet he never signs autograph very much. I'd like to know, like, if anybody knows, say some comment down below. Let me know if he ever signs autographs, like, for WWE events, because I'm assuming that's probably the only time like he'll do it is if he's signing autographs. That's been like whatever, because it's an event, so he probably would do something like that if he's asked to by events. And the thing cool about this thing was that he never talks. He never talks in WWE hardly ever. Like, if he does, people listen because he barely talks. Paul Heyman is his mouthpiece, and he talks for him all the time. And he talks about his UFC days when he was cut promos, and he would like just bash the other person he was going to fight. And the promos are really good. And it didn't really make sense to where he said that it's different. And I don't really think it is. Like, if he took a step that he acted like it was the UFC and he started doing promos himself without Heyman, I think that would be a step in the right direction. And I would love to see Brock be able to kind of be a good talker or be a decent talker by the end of his wrestling career. I think that he could do a lot with that. I don't think he's a bad talker at all. Like, compared to some other people, I think he could be a pretty good talker from what I've seen in UFC, because he comes off as so arrogant, and he comes off as being a snob, that he thinks he's better than you, and he knows he's better than you because he can kick your butt, whatever. And that's what he comes off as. And I don't think it wouldn't be a stretch for him to talk down to everybody, whether he's being a babyface or a heel. So I think that he could do promo work if given the opportunity to do it. So that was kind of interesting talking about, though, that he that's why he just doesn't think he's good at it. I think he is pretty good at it. Like I said, I'd like to see him better himself at that before he retires. And a funny question I think at the end of the video was, they asked him, like, what was the question they asked him? Blanking. Kind of blanking on what they asked him. They asked him something, and I was going to make a comment about it. I totally just forgot what I was going to talk about. Anyways, but there was a comment at the end of the video as well that they asked him, like, if you were going to give any advice to anyone, because he just doesn't talk to the young people in the locker room and things like that, I don't think, very much. What would you give any advice? And he basically, says, make sure that's what you want to do with your life. Don't start something that you know you're not going to be able to continue through. And that was one of his main things, is that maybe what Vince caught his eye is that, if he has events scheduled before he signs contract, he always makes sure that he can fulfill those commitments, because once he's a man of his word. Once he starts something, he's going to finish it. Very cool. It was a really good interview. It was really informative, and if you like Brock Lesnar, if you want to know more about him, this is a great interview. I've never seen anything like this. The only thing else I would say is subscribe to Heyman Hustle on YouTube, because that's a great YouTube channel. And Heyman, if anything's going to come out about Brock, it's going to be on there. And it has, because I watched a couple things about Brock Lesnar on there, and Brock was actually talking on the YouTube channel, and that was pretty cool. So if you're a big Brock Lesnar fan or a Paul Heyman fan, you should be subscribed to Heyman Hustle. There are some annoying videos that come out. I just don't watch them. I just right click and say not interested and move on with my life. But they got some cool content on there, so I would definitely check that YouTube channel out as well. If you're a fan of Brock Lesnar, I know he had a couple 2-part interviews, and I haven't watched the second part yet. Just thought about that. So yeah, there's some stuff he does with Brock Lesnar probably on there, and talks about. And of course, he's always interviewed on there, and he gets some put on there, where they're asking him questions about Brock Lesnar. So if you're a huge Brock Lesnar fan, this is a pretty good video for you. Definitely go check out the Stone Cold podcast with him. It's worth the watch. And it's one of those that you have to see, I think. If there's the podcasts that you need to see and the ones that are just blah, this is one of them you need to see. AJ Styles, probably worth watching. Paige, you can do without, those two. It's like, you can do without those two podcasts. They're not really that interesting. But Brock Lesnar one is pretty good. Triple H one, pretty good. Vince McMahon one, it was okay. But Vince was pretty good too when he did the podcast for the first time. So other than that, leave your comments down below. What do you thought about the Brock Lesnar interview? Any comments about what he said and everything like that? So like, comment, subscribe. As always, keep rocking.